Hello there, I'm just back with a quick update from my unboxing video yesterday. I did just want to point out a couple of things I perhaps didn't focus on too much in the video yesterday that I did want to point out. Along with that, I have actually played chapter 1, the story mode and the encounter mode now as well. So I was just going to give a quick update on how I found that really, the first game, and how I died at the end of it. So first of all, I don't think I pointed out yesterday how absolutely gorgeous the whole box art is on the box, going all the way around the box. Even it's one of those productions that when you get the box, you just feel it, you just know it's really sturdy, lovely shine, smooth. You just know it's an absolute quality product. I don't think I gave that justice yesterday, so I just wanted to quickly point that out as well. Along with the miniatures, I mean, having played in the miniatures now, obviously we all know that they're slightly larger than the usual miniatures you get, but they are absolutely gorgeous. I can't wait to paint them. I'm used to painting sort of Blood Bowl, Games Workshop miniatures that are smaller. So whenever you get miniatures which are a bit bigger to paint, it does always feel like an absolute joy. The other thing was the board as well. I didn't really show the board. There is the board in all its glory, the deep woods, looking absolutely lovely, really atmospheric, and great to play on. And it is double-sided as well. I'll just quickly show you the other side. Ooh. Not quite as pretty, but a bit more of a browner, barren board the other side. But yeah, just to show you the other side of the board as well. I think I prefer this side. Really nice there. All the cards too. Just the sheer quantity of cards that you get. Literally, I mean, this is just the common items, unique items, all the things you can buy for your characters throughout the game. Literally hundreds of them here. I think it's one of the reasons the box weighs so much. But just the sheer quantity of these is just absolutely brilliant. Really good. Lots of choice there to determine what to buy for your free company characters. And just a quick note about the instruction booklets as well. Obviously there are 3 books. One's the encounter book, the other 2 are rule books. The storybook, how many pages is it? 19 pages. But a lot of it is references, indexes, appendixes. There's not actually that much in it, really. It's probably about 6 pages or so to actually read. So yeah, don't be intimidated by it. You do get through it quickly. And then the encounter rulebook as well. I said yesterday it's 33 pages, but again, there's probably like 10, 12 pages you can get away with reading. The rest is indexes or examples and so on. And they do have lovely references on the back. So basically it tells you what page to go to, depending on what you want to look at. So really good, really good. But like all big games, you will be thumbing backwards and forwards through the rule book on your first few plays. So I have now played chapter 1, the story mode and the encounter mode. I don't want to show you I don't want to get the map out because I don't want to have any kind of spoilers here at all. This is just the rule book, where it's just showing you how to set up the board for a story mode. But yeah, brilliant. I really enjoyed the story mode. It probably lasted maybe about 40 minutes, but it was my first time doing the story mode. The writing is brilliant. If you've downloaded the app, you might have listened to it already. But it's, the writing is really descriptive. It really kind of immerses you into the world of the deep woods and the cities. So it is lovely writing. It's good, nice going around the city, exploring, meeting characters. Really good fun. I think my only kind of drawback was I kind of accidentally got pushed down a route and went into the encounter mode when actually I kind of would have wanted to sort of hang around the city a bit more and explore a bit more of the city. So yeah, I kind of like picked a scenario, picked a certain location, went down there and couldn't really go back from that, really, back to the city to explore. So that was a shame. And the other thing I suppose just to point out is the space. I mean, this shows you here the layout. You have the map, you have your tokens and the cards and so on. It doesn't show you all your 4 boards you have for your characters and all of their cards and equipment and so on. So just a warning, it is a bit of space. I mean, you've got all this up here to put out as well. But, you know, it's a big game, big box game. They always take up a lot of space, don't they? So yeah, so that's story mode. That's really good fun. I really look forward to doing another one of them. Then we went on to the encounter mode. Again, there's no spoilers. I don't want to ruin anything for anyone. First thing first, setting up the map. I actually found it quite easy. I think other people have said, oh, there's no kind of markings on the map to know where to put all the obstacles, all the trees, etc. But it actually says in the rule book, there's lots of little markings on the actual board itself. You know, there's a skull there. There's pink boils there, I guess. Some sort of tree up here. You can use all these bushes and that to actually quickly see where to put all the trees out, and it tells you that in the rule book as well. That's no secret, but it tells you it in the rule book. And as soon as you realise that, you know, you look for the mushrooms, etc., and you can put the trees next to the mushrooms. It makes setting up the board actually really quick, which is really good. So who did I pick? I went for, I think everyone's going to pick the War Bear as one of their free company. It's a nice, great, unique character. So I picked the War Bear, which is difficulty 3. The higher the number, the more difficult. I picked the Priest, who I think was difficulty 2. And then I picked the Ranger, which is difficulty 1. I thought I'd better go for an easier one. And then I really wanted to try the Blade. I saw this character early on, really liked this character. I think it might have been difficulty 4 or maybe 3. And I did struggle with this one a bit actually with some of the cards. They were quite situational, some of their cards they play. But what I did, I soloed it, and when you solo, you still have to play 4 characters. And it is a bit to manage. It is a bit to manage, I'm not going to lie. The 2 characters, I sort of played the lesser versions. That's where you swap them out for their companion cards. They are quite small, these cards, but you swap them out for their companion cards, and you just give them a couple of abilities. You kind of pick which side of the card you want, depending on this scenario, decide what abilities you're going to go in with. So I took out the Priest and I took out the War Bear, and I used their companion versions. And like you say, for the other characters, you get their full set of cards. Again, it's quite like sort of Gloomhaven, I guess. There were a few similarities. I've played a lot of Jaws of the Lion, quite a few similarities with that. The only thing I would say is probably more text on these cards as opposed to Jaws of the Lion or Gloomhaven, where there's a lot more iconography. But yeah, you have to manage those cards for both those characters, and you also managing the other 2 characters. So I've played a lot of Jaws of the Lion with 2 characters, and I've played a lot of it soloing all 4 characters. I would probably say playing this solo, you have to have 4 characters to play it. And playing these 4 characters, even if 2 of them are companions, it's probably the equivalent of playing Jaws of the Lion with probably 3 characters, maybe not quite 4 characters, but probably the same as playing Jaws of the Lion with 3 characters in sort of complexity of what you've got to manage and so on. But it was great fun, really good fun. I don't want to give too much away about the encounter, but what we were fighting definitely changed what it did, brought up some surprises. I think it's one of those games where the first time you meet something and fight something, you're likely to lose or very likely to lose, and the second time you know what you're up against. You know a bit more about the strengths and weaknesses, and you know how to sort of prepare for it as well. So I think I'm going to go back, do chapter 1 again, do the story mode again to explore more of the city, and then do the encounter mode again. I might change the characters. The Blade I did like, but the cards were a bit situational, like I said. The Ranger was good, didn't have a lot of defense, so I might try and buff up the defense. And the 2 companion cards are really good, but they get extra defense, they do, so they can go in and take a bit of a battering for you. What I would say as well, just talking about the might cards where you can use the dice or the cards, they do recommend using the cards because you have a more consistent experience, as opposed to dice where you could be throwing bad dice all night long. It still reminded me a little bit, or quite a bit, of Gloomhaven. The Blade had 1 card where for most of the game I kept looking at this card and thinking, well, how am I going to use that? How is that going to be any good? Then I had this scenario where I thought, oh my God, I can use that card. That card will be brilliant. Teed it up, played the card, drew 2 blanks, did no damage at all. So you still risk that setting up a big move and then losing it. Which some people don't mind. I don't mind it. It happens, it's life, but some people didn't like that too much with Gloomhaven. But you can mitigate that. You can mitigate in Gloomhaven, you can mitigate it here, you can get tokens and power-ups that give you redraws and so on. So there are ways to sort of mitigate that and get around that. But just a warning about that, really. But really enjoyed it. Looking forward to playing chapter 1 again. Probably choose some different characters. Now I know what I'm doing. I did lose right at the death. All 4 of my Oathsworn 3 company got knocked out. When the first 3 got knocked out, you get to replace them with these allies. These sort of like men-at-arms that come on, which aren't quite as strong. But then eventually, I think it was the Ranger that lasted the longest because she was across the other side of the board. But as you do more damage to the enemy in the encounter, the enemy gets tougher as well and does a lot more. I won't spoil anything, but really, really good fun. Excellent. I really want to try this guy out. He looks good. Excellent. So that was it, really. I just wanted to point out a few things that perhaps I didn't focus on too much in the first video. But a brilliant game, really enjoying it. I can't wait to get through it all. Just make sure you've got a big table. I don't play it here, I play it on a bigger table. But yeah, really good fun and can't wait to dive into it more. Excellent.